So Jeannie Weiner, activist extraordinaire in our community, big heart, passionate, Soviet Jewry, emigration of Jews from the former Soviet Union to Detroit in this area. What do you remember about it? What was it about that immigration to Detroit that motivated you to do the things you did?
I first got seriously involved after Joel Gershenson and Larry Jackier came back from a visit to the Soviet Union and talked about the people they met. The whole thing was very astounding to me because as I began to put together these pieces of advocacy here in Michigan to get the release of Jews in the Soviet Union and how many different kinds of people were involved quietly at that time, very quietly, and then the possibilities of actually going there and really doing something there in the Soviet Union, it was very enticing. And I thought at that time that I would go and that I would satisfy my need to do something, but of course it just set a fire under me after meeting the people there who wanted to get out. And they were so diverse, and what was happening in their lives was so horrific for them, because if you'll recall, once you applied to leave the Soviet Union, your life as you knew it was over. You were not allowed to maintain your job. Your kids were not allowed to stay at the university. And you were in no man's land because then you were accused of being a parasite for not working and not going to school.
Could you give some examples of how you took that advocacy back and put it into practice here in Detroit?
Getting the right people involved in whatever your cause is one of the first steps. And with Soviet Jewry, it was everyone. This was a movement which everyone felt sympathetic, because these were a group of people, because of their religion, who couldn't freely move and were really imprisoned within their own country. So every religious group, every ethnic group, every American could relate to that. And the approach for that movement was government officials, newspaper media people. We got to know them personally. One of the most special highlights that I recall was the day that Sharansky was released. I was sound asleep. I got a phone call at 5 a.m. from the person I had been working with, one of them at Channel 7. And he called and I was sound asleep. He said, "Jeannie, turn on your television. It's live. He's out, he's coming across the bridge." And both of us started to cry. This was not a Jewish man, but it was a cause that people related to.
So share with me for a moment, 1989, you chaired the group from Detroit who flew into Washington to participate in this rally for Soviet Jewry.
Well, it was astounding because originally we planned for a bus. We hoped for a busload of Detroiters to get there, and we ended up with 3 planes. And of course, people went by bus or they went on their own. I remember at the airport, the excitement was tangible. I mean, the air was sort of crisp at the airport. You just felt this tremendous sense that we were doing something important.
With all that experience as an activist, as an advocate, where is the next chapter for Jeannie Weiner?
I am very concerned with interfaith work and with addressing the diversity in this country through diversity. I think that we, as a Jewish community, need to really step up to our values and speak out for fair immigration.
Thinking back to that time span of your advocacy or efforts on behalf of Jews from the former Soviet Union, is there any one additional item that stands out?
When actually the Soviet Union fell, no one was more shocked than me. There are people now who say, oh yeah, I saw it coming. I don't believe it, because I don't think we really saw it coming. It was an astounding event in our lifetime that that regime actually fell. And that along with that, which was huge for the world, but along with that, so many Jews got out in a massive number. It changed the face of Israel. It certainly affected our own community. And the fact that my son doesn't have to deal with that issue was something I never could have foreseen. So that really feels good. I think we have to be hopeful. We have to be optimistic that if we're doing the right thing for the right reason, we can get results.